Love Decoded. The exact moment a man decides to commit and what triggers it. Before we start today, I want to tell you something most people never say out loud. There is a moment, a specific, quiet, almost invisible moment when a man's internal direction becomes clear. Not when he says the words, not when he makes it official. Before all of that, a moment most women never see coming and don't recognize even when they are standing right inside it. And here's what makes that moment so important. It cannot be forced. It cannot be rushed. It cannot be created by effort alone, but it can be understood. And once you understand it, everything about how you move in a relationship changes. This is Love Decoded, the podcast where intelligent Black women finally understand what's really happening in their relationships and learn how to respond with clarity in ways that create more love, respect, and commitment. Because when love is clear, confusion disappears. And if this gives you clarity, share it with the woman who may be wondering where her relationship is going. Most women have been told what to do to earn commitment. Almost no one has told them what commitment is actually responding to. And that gap between the effort and the outcome is exactly where the confusion lives. Most women picture the commitment moment as something visible. The conversation, the label, the introduction to family, the ring, but those are not the moment. Those are what the moment eventually produces. The real moment is internal. It happens inside him, quietly, without announcement, when the relationship stops feeling uncertain and starts feeling like something he can step into. And most women miss it not because they were not paying attention, but because they were looking for the wrong thing. Here's something worth understanding. A man does not decide to commit through a checklist. It happens more like recognition. The relationship begins to feel settled, defined, like something real. And in that feeling, the question of commitment stops being abstract. It becomes obvious, not because she convinced him, not because she waited long, but because the pattern of the relationship created a feeling of clarity he hadn't felt before. And clarity for a man is not just emotional, it's directional. It tells him where this is going, and when a man can see where something is going, he decides if he's going. Let me show you what this looks like in real time. Jordan had been seeing Elsie for several months. He was interested, he showed up, but the relationship had a ceiling it kept brushing against. Present, but not progression. Then something changed. Not something he did, something she stopped doing. Elsie stopped performing certainty she didn't feel. She stopped feeling silence with reassurance. She stopped measuring her worth by how much she could give. She got honest with herself first, then with the relationship. And the energy of the relationship shifted. What it felt like two people moving in peril began to feel like two people moving towards something. Jordan felt it before he could name it. And what he felt was this. This relationship has a different shape now. I can see what it is. I can see what it's asking of me. And he stepped toward it. Not because Elsie demanded it, because the pattern made it the natural next move. So what was the actual trigger? Not a conversation, not an ultimatum, not patience, finally paying off. The trigger was clarity replacing uncertainty. Because here's what most women are never taught. A man does not commit to effort. He commits to a feeling. And that feeling is only produced by one thing, a relationship pattern that has become clear. Unclear patterns create hesitation. Clear patterns create direction. And direction is what commitment follows. This is where the love type framework makes something invisible finally visible. In a love disarray relationship, the pattern teaches uncertainty. She gives more than she receives. And over time, that imbalance becomes what the relationship recognizes as normal. A man in that pattern doesn't feel the pull toward commitment. He feels the comp of imbalance. And this is important to understand. It's not that communication doesn't matter. It does. But communication only works when the pattern can support it. You can say the right things, express yourself clearly, even understand each other emotionally. But if the pattern is disarray, those things may improve moments without ever changing the direction. You're still in a pattern where commitment is unlikely. In a love harmony relationship, the balance is real, effort is reciprocated, the experience feels encouraging. But balance alone does not always create direction. Two people can be equally invested and still find themselves in a relationship that never clearly defines where it is going. In a love security relationship, the pattern itself creates stability. It builds on it. Effort is consistently returned. The relationship develops a direction, and that direction becomes clear. And when a man can feel that direction, the moment arrives naturally. This is the part that matters most for women who have been given everything and still waiting. Effort is not wrong. Effort is not the problem. The problem is effort applied to a pattern that cannot hold it. Pouring more into a love disarray relationship does not move it toward commitment. It deepens the imbalance the pattern depends on. And the moment, that quiet internal moment of clarity, cannot be manufactured by giving more. It can only be created by understanding the pattern, shifting the structure, and allowing clarity to enter where uncertainty has lived. When a woman understands the moment, really understands it, something shifts in how she moves. She stops measuring her value by how much she can give. She stops interpreting his hesitation as evidence of her inadequacy. And she stops trying to hold the relationship together through effort alone. And in that stopping, something returns. Her clarity, her direction, her understanding. She starts asking a different question entirely. Not what more can I do, but what is this pattern actually producing? And that question is where her influence begins. Because influence in a relationship is not about control. It's about clarity. The clarity to see the pattern. The clarity to understand the love type. The clarity to know whether this relationship is capable of producing commitment or quietly teaching itself that uncertainty is acceptable. If a man didn't commit, it does not mean the love wasn't real. It often means the pattern never produced the moment. The relationship never arrived at the feeling of clarity that makes commitment the obvious next step. And Elsie understood something that changed everything for her. The moment was never about getting Jordan to decide. It was about creating a pattern so clear, so stable, so defined that the decision made itself. That's not manipulation. That is not a game. That is a woman who understands how love actually works and moves accordingly. The moment a man commits is not random. It is not reserved for women who are more patient, more beautiful, or more willing to give. It is a response to clarity, a response to structure, a response to a pattern that finally has a shape he can see. And when you understand the love type of the relationship, you stop waiting for the moment to find you. You begin creating the conditions that make the moment possible. Whether that means finally getting out of a love disarray relationship, wisely ensuring love harmony, or intentionally maintaining love security. The moment is not out of reach. It never was. It was waiting for clarity. This is Love Decoded. I am Alvis O. And if you want more clarity about the patterns shaping your relationship, go to unlockreallove.com. Again, that's unlockreallove.com. reallove.com. The moment doesn't happen to you. It happens because of what you now understand.